want to see if anybody's going to laugh. All right. Okay, first thing I do, I look for trouble. There they go, pointing already. This one. All right, now you guys in the back row, if y'all want to stand up, you can stand up, lean on the railing, sit on the railing, just don't bump your head or fall off. Same with you guys, if y'all want to stand up. Now, when we get to the other side over there, these guys are going to have to turn around, okay? All right, before anybody can go underground, the mines has to be fireballed by a certified person. Someone comes in early, checks for methane, carbon monoxide. We take a look at the roof and the rib to make sure everything's safe. We don't have to do that here because we don't produce coal, but we still do. Every morning, one of us comes in early. We got date boards throughout the mines. We'll put our date and initial. Now, I'm going to show y'all how they mined coal back in the late 1800s. Now, I wasn't here, guys. Now, y'all give me a break now, okay? Today's coal miners are wearing a strap with a battery. It's mostly all remote control. This mine was a pick and shovel all the way. There was never any electrical equipment ever used in this mines. We're going to show you some on the other side, but it was never used here. The mines went under the city of Beckley for 7 miles in diameter. Now, they had to take a pick and pick out that coal and shovel it on these cars. That coal seam, 28 inches high. That's what they were working in. They wasn't standing up like me. They were working in 28 inches of coal. It'd be hard for those little ones to work in 28 inches of coal. Now, the company made the miners work 12-hour shifts. They demanded that they shovel, hand load 10 tons of coal in 12 hours, 10 of these cars. If they didn't do it, they lose their job. A lot of times they brought their teenage son in to help them get the quota. Once the car was loaded, they all had a piece of wood with a number on it. That number corresponded to their name outside. That's how they knew who to pay. Now, they were thieves back then, like they are today. A lot of times the car would go outside, somebody'd steal that wood and put it on their car. This guy wouldn't get paid. So finally they put the wood in the car first, then they loaded the car up. When a guy unloaded outside, they knew who to pay. I brought y'all in on a 1930 model locomotive. Now, back in these days, they had track, but they didn't have electricity going underground. How do you think they drove these cars out of the mines back in those days? What did they use? Mules, horses, donkeys. They even used dogs. Has anyone seen the movie Coal Miner's Daughter? That's the way it was. Everybody lived in a coal camp. Every coal camp had a company store. Maybe you've heard the song, 16 tons, what do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. That's what it was. They bought all their food, clothing, medicine, tools. Everything had to be purchased at the company store, even the houses they lived in. If a coal miner got killed back in those days, the company gave the family 3 days to move out so another family can move in. Now, I've got an LED light on my cab. They didn't have LED lights back then. They started out with this right here. What does that look like? You don't bring me no trouble. What does that look like? Well, yeah, that could be an old can. What about you guys? What does that look like?
It looks like a teapot.
Good job. Teapot. They started out with a teapot and a can of kerosene. They'd empty the kerosene into the teapot. It would fit on their cap. They would ignite it. It'd be an open flame. Now, what's going to happen if that flame hits a pocket of methane? A lot of methane, there's going to be an explosion. This light only lasted about 3 hours. They have to relight it again. Do we have anybody that's got family that worked underground? Who's you have?
My grandfather.
Your grandfather. Was that in West Virginia?
It was in Pennsylvania.
What about you?
My grandfather is in Kentucky.
We'll show y'all what they had to go through with this next stop. Anybody else down there? Who'd you have, man?
My grandpa.
Your grandpa?
Mm-hmm.
That was in West Virginia, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we get coal miners on the pool, they try to take the pool. I'm glad we don't have any on here today. All right, guys, after that teapot I showed you, they came out with what's called a carbide lamp. Now, your grandfather knew all about this, these carbide lamps. Now, tell me when you see the gas coming out of here. This is water, this is carbide. When you mix it, it forms like a settling gas. We got any welders on here? Okay, guys. See that gas? All right.
Ooh.
Can you imagine working a 12-hour shift with a light like this? That's all they had. Each coal miner had to carry around a can of carbide with them. If they were lucky, this light might last about 4 hours. They have to relight it again.
Okay.
If they ran out of water, they had to use their spit to relight it. Like I said, if you happen to hit a pocket of methane, there's going to be a pop or an explosion. All right, now I want to show everyone how dark it is underground without any light.
Ooh.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Now, over the years, my light went out plenty of times. One time my light went out, took them about 30 minutes to find it. I had one major problem, one major concern. Can anybody tell me what it would be other than I couldn't see?
You breathe the gas?
Well, no.
Yeah, you use the bathroom.
Well, I don't have to have a light to go to the bathroom. I hear that a lot. I got some city slickers on here, don't I? I had to worry about a rat crawling on me. Now, y'all came here to hear about those rats. I'm gonna tell you all about them on the other side of it.
I don't think any of us came here for the rats.
Now, this is a flame safety lamp. We used to use these in the old days. Your grandfather, they know all about these.
Mm-hmm.
We used to use these in the old days. They did away with these about mid-70s because of that flame. You can take this lamp, put it a foot from the roof. If the top of that flame turns blue or elongates, that means you're in methane gas. We also use it to check for low oxygen. Happened to me plenty of times. I'll be walking along, and that flame go out or start to go out, there's not enough oxygen in front of me to survive. They didn't have any way to check back then. Today, they use the spotter. All you do is push a button. It'll give you a methane check and a carbon monoxide check. Now, they had one way to check for low air and methane back in those days, and this is what it was right here. Anybody know what that is? No one's heard of West Virginia, but they've heard about canaries in the coal mines. Now, this one's had its better days right here. The other day, a guy asked me, "Is that a real canary?" I said, "Well, if it is, we don't have much longer to live." Now, let's see if y'all been living. Where did they buy the canary?
Pumpkin store.
Where'd they buy the material to build the cage? They'd go to work and set the canary right there, and they'd start picking and shoving. If that canary is chirping and singing something like "Almost Heaven," West Virginia, everything's fine. If it's laying flat on his back with his legs up in the air, it's only a matter of time before it's going to get you. These canaries saved a lot of coal miners' lives back then. The reason they used the canary, the breathing in the lungs of a canary are similar to a human. Now, who is a mathematician in this bunch around here? Come on, man, somebody. Who's a mathematician? All All right, now who are you pointing at, sir? This one? All right, you're too bad, too late. Anytime somebody points, I get it, okay? All right. Now, back in those days, like I said, they had to work a 12-hour shift. They had to shovel 10 tons of coal in 12 hours. They only made 20 cents a ton. So those poor guys shoveled 10 tons of coal at 20 cents a ton. How much money did they make that day?
$2.
Very good, $2. Then they had to spend $5 or $6 just to pay for the little shack they lived in. Today's coal miners make anywhere from 85 to over 100,000. Now, guys, we're gonna leave here and go around over there to the other side. I'm gonna show y'all the next step. They're still gonna be using a pick, but they're gonna be doing one thing different. We're gonna slowly progress, if you wanna call it that. Watch your heads. Watch out for a little bat that flies around.
Oh.
We'll go around to the other side.
Sounds good to me.
No, it don't.
Bats are cute.
Cute till they bite you. Any bat. Any bat will bite you.
And then you get in there, you gotta get.
And away we go. Supply track. Yep. I understand what. Ears hurt. We switched tracks.
What's your deal?
I'm like 4 for 7. There's really no point. No. But there's no point in me watching my head.
Because if you go to stand up here,
I ain't gonna stand up. And away we go. Look, son. Oh, look. Look.
Yep, see it?
I'm recording a video.
Get all of it.
Jeffrey loading machine.
I have to apologize right here. It's hard to position these cars real good right here for everybody to see. Now, when we get down there, it's gonna be a lot better, okay? Now, over there, they was picking the coal down. Now, they're still using a pick, but now they're doing something different. Instead of picking down, they're laying on their side. And they're picking underneath, 3 feet in, all the way across. Now that's called an undercut. Now this is their actual work area, by the way. Now what do you think they're gonna do different here? Why would they do an undercut? You see that old breast auger? What are they gonna do different?
Break it down.
How are they gonna make it fall?
Dynamite.
They're gonna blast it down. It's gotta have a place to fall. After the undercut, they took that breast auger, they drilled 3 holes. They reached in their pocket, they got out their little balls of black powder with their fuses, which they purchased at the
Company store.
They shoved the black powder in the holes, the fuse wires would be hanging out. Now, back in those days, they had to go look for dirt and mud. Anything they could find to shove in behind that powder to make it tight. Using a wooden stick, that's called tamping it up. Why would they do that?
So it didn't blow back on them.
That's right, the pressure. If they didn't do it, the shot would blow through the holes and the coal wouldn't fall down. After that, they had big cable going around the corner with a battery on it. They had wired up and they'd scream real loud, just like they do today. Fire, fire, fire in the hole. That gives everybody a warning there's gonna be a blast. They blast the coal down. The old mule shoves the car up there and the guy shovels all the coal up. If the animal didn't have enough room to work, they would blast that rock down at night and get it out of the way so the animal would have enough height. They didn't care about the coal miner, but they wanted to make sure the animal was comfortable. Now, I happen to be a certified shot burner. I've blown up a lot of stuff in 43 years, believe me. But I'm not a terrorist now, okay? But I've blown up like a roof over your heads for big equipment to go underground. I've put off as much as 300 shots at one time. We didn't have to go look for dirt and mud. We use these little sticks of clay. They're called clay dummies. You stick them in a hole and hamp it in. The reason we call them dummies, you gotta be a dummy to go in that hole. Knowing you're gonna get blown
for
up.
about 17
All right, guys,
minutes.
we're gonna drift right over and see my buddy Don Corleone.
Don Corleone.
Ooh, sleeping.
All right, so far, we're picking the coal down, now we're blasting it down. But you're still shoveling. Shoveling days are over. This is a 1929 model loading machine. Electric, never used here. They blast the coal down, bring the machine up, and once the coal got like there, they turn these things on. They're called gathering arms. What it does, it pulls the coal right into here. What do you think's underneath the coal right there? Conveyor chain. They turn that chain on, load that car up in about a minute. They still use that type of equipment in one mine in Kentucky. Not quite that old, but today's machines cut the coal and load it all up at the same time. That's called continuous mining. This is a scoop. The guy built this. He never got a patent on it. Coal companies copied his idea and made millions. Today's scoops are twice as wide. Some of them are remote control. That's a scoop bucket. It goes up and down. You can push coal, clean the roadways. You can pull stuff with it. If you need supplies, you tell the scoop man. We call him the gopher. He'd be the one to go for whatever you need. Great piece of machinery, but they never got a patent on it. All right, guys, have a seat
And away we go. Good, very good.
Did you get it?
What? Hey, pay attention.
You guys in the back row, y'all want to stand up, y'all can stand up, you're gonna bump your heads. Now, you three guys back there, if y'all want to step out of the car and walk right over here and stand, that'd be fine with me. Y'all like to do that? Just don't bump your head. Don't bump your head, don't fall. If you do, I'm gonna get an awful review here. They don't like us doing this, but I can't stand it when people can't see good. Yeah, just don't bump your heads now. All right, guys, now back there, they were laying on their side doing the undercut. they finally invented a cutting machine. It looks like a chainsaw turned over on its side. They turn it on, they can do that undercut real quick. That breast auger, now they got a hydraulic drill. So things are getting a little bit better. Okay, sir, gonna be up with that game for you? Would you like me to open it? Just stretch out there a little bit. Okay, guys. Now, every time I do this, some adult will blurt out the answer. Now, let's give these little guys a chance. We got some little guys on here. What does it look like to you little guys right here?
A skateboard?
Didn't take you long, did it? A skateboard, scooter. When I first went underground, my boss was riding around on one of these. He had a big cigarette sticking out of his mouth. There wasn't any rules or laws. If you went in and got out good, if you didn't, they didn't really care. 1970, he was riding around on it. They were obsolete in 1970, but he liked it so well he kept using it. How does it work? You just put it on the track. If you want to go somewhere, you put your knee right there and hold on and start pushing with your leg. Now, I used to demonstrate this. But this past December, I had a total knee replacement. So I can't bend down all the way, but y'all understand how it works. Now, we're going to get a little bit serious, then we're going to have some fun. Over your head is 125 feet of mountain. In other words, if I drill a hole straight up, we go up 125 feet, you'd see daylight. These things over your heads are called roof bolts. Those roof bolts is what's keeping the rock from falling on your heads. Now, I put up thousands of roof bolts in my life. Not with this machine. That machine is really old, 1930-some model, never used here. Only one man can operate it. Today's machines are 4 times as wide. And you've got a guy on both sides of the machine drilling the holes to install the roof bolts. But the idea is the same. You have to have a piece of drill steel with a sharp bit on it. It would fit right here. That's called a drill head. They raise it up with the hydraulics. There's another lever they use to let it cut. This is what it looks like when you're drilling a hole to install these roof bolts. Tell me something. Where's all the rock dust going? Up your nose, down your throat, in your lungs. That's why we all got black lungs. Today's machines have blower motors on them. When you're drilling, those motors are sucking that dust through here into the machine. All you have to do is empty out the dust boxes, but it's still a dirty, dangerous job. After you drill your hole, it's time to put this up. This is what's over your heads. 4-foot blue bolt. They make them shorter. They make them longer. It's according to how bad the roof is. This is what they mostly use today. After you drill your hole, it's time to get this. Now, yesterday morning, I had 54 elementary kids on here. I'm okay now. But I'd like to ask those little guys what this is. You wouldn't believe some of the things they say. I've heard popsicle, snake, hot dog, but most of them will say one thing. Let's give them a chance. We got more little ones back there. We got that little troublemaker. What does that look like to you, right? I don't think you're. Okay, I've heard stick before. What about you guys?
A sausage.
He got it. Most of them will say a sausage link. And I tell those little guys, we can't support this roof with a sausage link. This is a tube of glue.
I just had a little bit.
After you drill your hole, you stick your glue up in the hole with the bolt like that. Don't let the machine push it all the way up. The bolt would fit over there. Let the machine push it up to here, and let the machine spin it for about 10 seconds. Now, what do you think happens to that tube of glue?
Pops.
Yeah, it breaks open, it gets hot, it flows down this bolt, goes up into those cracks, and connects all that loose rock together. You only have to spin it for about 10 seconds. If you spin it too long, and I've seen those young guys do it, they'll come to work, They're mad at their girlfriend before they ever get here. And they're spinning away complaining. She broke up with me last night. I don't know what I'm gonna do. They spin it too long. The glue gets hard and sets up. You can't push the bolt up in the hole. You got that thing hanging down. You know what we call these? Helicopters. You gotta tell everybody, watch your head. I've hit my head on, it'll cut you. It'll knock your cap off. You have to bring somebody in with the torch to cut them out. All right. You see these all through the mines. Now, what do you think we call these? Now, don't say a dinner plate. You don't want to eat on that one. Now, you see those little square plates? See how rusty and old? See the newer ones? During COVID, they came in, they put up a lot of new roof bolts everywhere. We call this a pizza pan. It covers more of the roof. Drill your hole, drop your pan down. This is what it sounds like when you're done. And it's there to stay. All right. Now, this machine is so old, it'll only drill straight up. You heard that song, to the left, to the left. Y'all thought I was too old to know that song. Those new machines tilt. They drill to the left, they drill to the right, and they drill straight up. That's why you see all these bolts everywhere in the ribs right here. The new machines will do this. The old machines won't do it. Now that's called a brow right there. See where the coal fell out? That thing will roll over on you and kill you quicker than the roof will. Right before I retired, our electrician was between the machine and the rib over there. One of those brows rolled over on him and killed him. I could give you a lot of horror stories over 43 years, but we don't want to go there, okay? All right.
How did a leaf get in here?
And I'm going to put my light on bright here a minute.
I don't know.
I had my light on bright the other day. Lady stood up right there and pointed her finger right in my face. And she said, if you don't get that light out of my eye, I want you to take me out of here and I want my money back. We get some doozies on here sometime. I wanted to leave her in here is what I wanted to do. All right. Now that's called a killer bottle. There's another one right there. There's one. Another name for that is a widow maker. If that falls on you, you've had it. That weighs about 280 pounds. See how slick it is? They're in the roof everywhere. They'll fall out without warning. You can't drill a hole in them and put up a bolt, they'll fall out. You have to drill to the side and put a strap on it. I'll show you some straps on the way outside. Who can tell me what that is?
Petrified wood.
Now you are naturally smart, or you've been to the coal museum, or your dad told you. Now which one is it?
I've been here before.
You've been here before. The other day I had a guy on here, he gave me trouble the whole tour. He got right here, I said, what is it? He stood up in front of everybody. That's a petrified tree stuff. I said, well sir, you're pretty smart, or maybe you saw it up the coal museum. I hadn't been to any coal museum, he got mad. When we got outside, they told me he was up there 2 hours studying everything. I called him in a big lie. That's a petrified tree stump. What is coal? Coal is vegetation. It comes under water and pressure for thousands of years and it turns into coal. That's why you can find fossils in the mines. We got mushrooms growing around here. Where you're sitting at used to be vegetation and it turned into coal. Now I'm gonna have to hurry. All right, guys. Now, I don't have a thing against you guys right here. And y'all right there. I didn't make y'all stand up to get y'all hurt or nothing, okay? Over your head is one of the biggest killer bombs I've ever seen. Y'all see that track going around there? Yeah. It goes all the way back. All the way around. Oh, wow. If that thing weighs 280 pounds, what do you think that weighs? Tons. But don't worry about it. It's supported pretty good. I don't think it's going to fall. Okay? All right. What's this? Now, coal miners like to be sophisticated. We call this a dinner bucket.
Great grandpa.
Take the top off. What goes in here?
Food.
Dessert tray. Coal miners eat their dessert first. We don't know if we're gonna get out of here tonight. What goes in here? Main course. Back in those days, they didn't have any way to heat up their food. Today's coal miners has a picnic table, coffee pot, and a microwave. They get 30 minutes for lunch. They come down, take a sip of coffee, read the headlines. That's enough right there to make you sick. Isn't it? What goes in here? Water. They had to bring their own water back then. They fill it up to here. Let's pretend we're back in the 1800s. That's a dinner hole. Poor old guy's been shoving coal for about 5 hours. Now remember, he's not standing up like me. He's working in that coal seam right there. He crawls down here to get a drink of water. No water. Somebody stole his water. He went home and told his wife, "Honey, I'm so thirsty." She said, "What's the matter?" "They stole my water again." She got angry. How many times I gotta tell you, put something in that water to keep those guys from stealing it. And finally, that's what the old timers did. You seem like you're very interested. They put their own chocolate in there.
They'd put their
They
own.
didn't have to worry about anybody stealing their water anymore. Now people think we do that to get a laugh. When I was her age, I grew up to my grandfather's house on weekends. My grandfather was a coal miner. He came over on a boat from Italy. My dad never went underground. He ran a grocery store and sold used furniture. I'd go up there on weekends. My grandfather gave me chores to do. I remember every Friday night at 9 o'clock, then I'll get a cup of coffee and kick back and watch Gunsmoke. Gunsmoke still comes on around here every night at 9 o'clock. I looked in his bucket for a snack. His teeth were in there. I believe he soaked them in there all night. All right, now what we got going on up here? Any mines I ever worked at has rats. We don't have rats here because we don't produce coal. If we produce coal, there'd be noise and food. The rats would come, the miners would feed them. The rat is a friend to the coal miner, just like the canary. They have a keen sense of smell and hearing, and they're smart. I've seen these rats take their tail and lift the lid right off that dinner bucket. Many times I'd be having my lunch, I'd see a rat crawl by and drag a sandwich. One of those little eggy cakes, they love those little eggy. Sometimes they'll look over at you like, "That's right, what are you gonna do about it?" Nothing. You see a bunch of rats take off running toward the outside, there's something going on. There's either smoke on the way or the roof's bad. The rats always knew that's why the miners took care of them. Guys, we're in a drift mines. We went straight in. There's smoke mines where you go underground like that. Then there's shaft mines. I've worked in a shaft mine where 30 men get on an elevator and go straight down 1,200 feet. Down there, the methane's really hot. You have to have a lot of ventilation to keep that methane swept away. That's called a supplementary roof jack. We used to use these in the old days where you couldn't put up those bolts. That thing will hold an incredible amount of weight. I've seen so much pressure coming down right before a major roof fall. So much weight coming down, these jacks will buckle over, snap, and break. Right before a major roof fall, these plates will ping out. They'll go ping, and they'll shoot out just like a shotgun before the mountain falls in. A lot of guys got killed with those plates on the side of the head. These timbers look strong, they'll break just like a toothpick. Guys, I'm telling you the truth, I see so much pressure coming down, it causes the floor to hoove up and split open, just like an earthquake from the pressure coming from up there. This is the old mine coming. Come in outside, we need help. Well, you might get an answer, you might not. All you had was a little wire going from here to the outside. If a rock or something falls, you don't have any communication. Guess what they got underground now for communication? Wi-Fi stations, every so many feet. Not all the mines yet, they got this fiber optic stuff. I don't understand a thing about it. All I know is they try to text your friends outside, but it don't work. They got Wi-Fi underground. All right, I got time for a question. Anybody got a question?
Do they use drones to transmitters?
No. I hadn't worked for 13 years underground. I don't know, but I know that they got fiber optic stuff now.
It's just a wire.
They use the drones to put transmitters in 400 feet,
Oh, okay.
so that people don't have to do that.
All right, yes.
How old were you when you started as a coal miner?
I went underground in 1970. This was 19. I'm gonna turn 75 in July. I worked 43 and a half years in that. All right, guys, one more thing, I'll get y'all out of here. Where did they go to the bathroom? Back in those days, wherever. I worked in the mines, we were 18 miles underground. It took an hour and 10 minutes to get to work, one way, on modern track. Today's coal mines got these big fans blowing air underground. Intake air, about 170,000 cubic feet of air per minute. Once the air gets up there to where the men are working, it'll split. Some of it'll split and go down that left return all the way back outside. Some of it'll split, go down the right return, all the way back outside. You got a continuous flow of air. Intake, return air back outside. Where would you go to the bathroom? An intake or return? Return. The air's hitting you in the face all the time. Every now and then you'll get an idiot, they'll go in the intake. Then the man has to suffer. When he gets outside, he's gonna suffer. All right, guys, you go over here, y'all go back in. Don't bump your head, please. Y'all didn't open up that gate, did you? Yeah, you did. Let me make sure it goes right. Sorry, guys, y'all had to sit back here like this. Watch your head. All right. Now, somebody mentioned something about tip jars, guys. We don't have tip jars here. If you want to get a tip, you can. As far as black lung goes, I do have black lung. Now, people say Mike don't have black lung. He moves around in here too good. Well, what I do is I try to keep my lungs expanded. If I'm not doing these tours, I try to stay active. I'm going to turn 75 in July. Most of the guys I work with are gone. A lot of them are on oxygen. One guy, we rode to work together for 12 years. He's waiting on a lung transplant. So I consider myself fortunate and blessed that I'm able to do what I'm doing. Now, does anybody want to leave anybody in here? All right. Guys, I will stop and show you the straps. As soon as we get outside, make sure you turn around and see where we're coming out from. Thank you very much for coming. It's been my pleasure to be y'all's guide today.
Thank you.